Hey guys, what is up? Jin Cheng here, and this is the review of the Cube i7 Remix. Cube is the first company to use Jide's Remix operating system on their tablet, the Cube i7 Remix. Cube has used the body of the Cube i7 and changed the internals to bring the price down, and slapped Remix OS over top of Android. How does this Remix OS tablet perform, and will it be enough for you? Well, let's find out. The i7 Remix is big. It's an 11.6-inch screen, and large bezels around the screen as well. This makes the Remix almost too large to use as a tablet, and it's quite heavy at 736 grams. Definitely not the best size and weight for a tablet experience. The quality, however, is quite good. It has a metal body and feels really nice in hand, partly because of its weight as well. The Windows button is located at the bottom of the tablet and does work. You find the power and volume buttons on the top. On the left side you find all the ports, the headphone jack, MicroUSB, MicroHDMI, and quite strangely 2 MicroUSB ports. I don't know why they didn't just use a regular USB port. Maybe they were trying to keep the thickness down, but I definitely would have preferred a regular USB port. The bottom holds the magnetic keyboard connection that work with the keyboard, and is sold separately. The back of the tablet is coated in powdered metal, which makes it feel good and gives you a good grip, especially compared to my Chewy Vi10, which is completely coated in glass, and can get quite slippery. However, the metal doesn't seem to be too scratch resistant, so do be careful with it. So let's talk about the keyboard. The official Cube keyboard is very good. Having used the Chewy Vi10's keyboard, the Surface Type cover, and the Asus T100's keyboard, this keyboard is miles ahead of all the other keyboards. It is very spacious to type on, the keys have great travel, and best of all, it has 2 full-sized USB ports. The typing experience is the exact same as a smaller 12 to 13-inch Ultrabook, like the MacBook Air. In addition, it has the advantage of not falling over when using it on your lap like the Surface, Chewy Vi10, or Jide's Remix tablet, and you can even pick up the tablet with the keyboard attached and it won't fall off. This keyboard is quite close to perfect, the only thing being its weight. The keyboard is as heavy as the tablet to keep the tablet from tipping over, so combining the two makes for quite a heavy package. There is also only one fixed angle, so you have to adjust yourself around that. The quality of this tablet is on par with $600 tablets. The only thing that you might dislike is the size and weight of this tablet. It's pretty awkward to use as a tablet, but when combined with the keyboard, it's great as a laptop. The 11.6-inch display has a 1920 by 1080 resolution that gives a great pixel density. High resolution isn't the only factor in a great display, but things like color accuracy also factor in as well. Thankfully, the colors are pretty good and accurate and synergize very well with the display. However, the maximum brightness of this device isn't very high at 300 nits of brightness. It's definitely brighter than most tablets in its price range, but still not very bright nonetheless. It's great for indoor use and possibly even use in a shade, but you won't be able to see the screen outdoors. The lowest brightness is also very good, perfect for use in bed, like that last Netflix episode. In addition, Cube claims that this is an OGS screen, meaning there is no gap between the digitizer and the glass, but that is false. There is a gap and it's a small one. Viewing angles are good, on par with other high-quality smartphone displays. I don't think they use Gorilla Glass on this tablet, but it's tough enough to avoid scratches, definitely harder to scratch than the metal back. Cube has placed both speakers on the left side of the tablet, which means that there is no stereo effect. Not a big deal for me, but I completely understand if someone is turned off by that. The speaker volume is adequate, but it's not the absolute loudest like my Chewy Vi10. You will be able to hear it in most places, but in noisier environments like food courts, it's going to be quite hard. The sound quality is also pretty average, nothing too terrible here, but not great either. It's perfectly fine for watching TV or listening to music, but don't expect HTC's level of sound quality. So far, the hardware on the Cube i7 Remix has been pretty standard. Nothing to write home about. There are lots of other tablets with the same specs. However, the software is where this tablet is unique. This tablet runs Android 4.4.4 with Jide's Remix 1.0 OS on top of it. I'll go through the software very briefly as I already have an in-depth analysis of the Remix OS which you can go ahead and click if you want to check it out. The more I use this operating system, the more I like it. Remix OS is an attempt to make Android more productive and uses elements of iOS and Windows 8 as well. There are no Android-like widgets or app drawer, just an iOS-like home screen of app icons. The navigation bar in Android has been upgraded to a Windows-like taskbar that not only includes navigation buttons, but also useful features like a multi-purpose button that has various functions. The flagship feature of this operating system would be the ability to multitask. The only other Android skin to do this would be TouchWiz and the ability to split the screen into two, but the functionality there pales in comparison to this. You are able to run apps in full screen like a tablet, but if you want more than one app open at the same time, you can switch the app to the phone version and run multiple apps side by side. In addition, Remix OS was built to be more productivity focused, and they have installed WPS Office on this tablet, and it is less robust than Microsoft Office. You can install Microsoft Word for Android, but devices 10.1 inches and larger require an Office 365 subscription. However, if you switch it to phone mode, it launches just fine, so you have to satisfy yourself with phone mode Office if you didn't get a subscription. Gaming was also pretty good on this tablet. Intense games didn't slow down, and just for kicks, I tried running Modern Combat 3 and Clash of Clans at the same time, and still no slowdown. It was pretty tough attacking a village while shooting up some bad guys though. It's pretty hard to slow this tablet down, but if you have more than 8 apps open at the same time, you do notice stuttering and lag. I ran the Antutu benchmark and was given a score of about 33,000. This is what other Z3735 tablets get as well. There are a couple of bugs though. Certain apps just won't launch, and I had some trouble getting YouTube to work as well. Notifications are a little janky as well. I use Multitask, and even after adding it to background processors, it still doesn't give me notifications. And finally, many browsers I've tried to open mobile versions of websites instead of desktop versions. There's a fix, but it's only for rooted devices, I believe. Overall, I believe that Remix OS is a great overhaul for Android. While it isn't perfect, it comes closer than ever to Windows 8.1 in terms of multitasking and productivity. Combined with the excellent keyboard, you'll be hard-pressed to find another Android tablet that can multitask and is built for productivity. The Cube has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth wireless connectivity. Both work as expected, and reception is as good as any other tablet or smartphone. It also has MicroUSB, but I do not have an adapter to regular HDMI, so unfortunately I can't test it. If you are going to be using this tablet to take photos at weddings and vacations, just don't. It has a measly 5 megapixel back camera with an even worse lens on it that produces terrible photos in all situations compared to smartphones. The hardware on this tablet is pretty standard. Intel Bay Trail processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and a 1080p screen. So why would I recommend this to you over other Android tablets? The differentiating factor is the software, the Remix OS. Is Remix OS the best of both worlds, Android and Windows? It's definitely the best of Androids, but not the best of Windows. Multitasking in Windows is still more flexible than on Remix OS, which is quite rigid, but it does have many great aspects from Windows though. Remix OS allows you to multitask very effectively, almost as well as a Windows tablet. In addition, if you get a keyboard with it, this combo becomes a very potent productivity-focused machine. However, the Remix OS isn't without its faults. You can only multitask using phone versions of apps, and the Remix OS overall is less flexible than Windows 8.1. So in conclusion, if you are looking at getting an Android tablet, you lose nothing by getting this instead and are able to get multitasking quite effectively, so I highly recommend this over almost all Android tablets. If you want to get a Windows tablet for productivity and are considering this, I recommend you check out my Remix OS in-depth video that I will link here, as the OS is what will make or break the deal for you. Oh, and one more thing. This is the second tablet ever to run Remix OS, the first being the Jide Remix tablet, the guys who created Remix OS. And the Jide tablet has a Tegra 4 Surface-style keyboard and costs $400. This tablet costs less than half of the Jide Remix and a little more with the keyboard. I've never personally used the Jide Remix, but looking at the reviews, the main differences between this cube and the Jide is the keyboard, so if you would like to be an early adopter and try out Remix OS, this is a much cheaper option than the official Jide Remix tablet. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. If you want to check out more videos, click on any of the links that should be popping about right about now.